everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Siren and I just said the intro wrong, so let me start again. Anyway, hello everyone, this is Siren, welcome back to my channel. It's a pretty gloomy weather outside today and I've been actually feeling a little bit under the weather myself for some, just usual emotional turmoil. Anyway, doesn't matter. The thing is, I thought, why not come here and talk some witchcraft? I got some witchcraft books right here that I want to be going through today with you. I kind of wanted to talk about some of the witchcraft books I have in my collection, not all of them. I specifically wanted to talk about books that kind of like shaped my witchcraft practice, if you will. Books that were and are incredibly important for me, and basically my witchcraft journey. So I got some books here. I got a tea here, amazing sage tea in this beautiful, in my favorite mug of all times from Killstar. It says, "Never trust the living," which is always the vibe. It's always the vibe. Anyway, yeah, so I'm gonna just have some tea, talk some witchcraft, and I hope you enjoy this episode. So grab yourself something delicious to drink yourself if you like, and let's get into the video. This is so good, you guys. It's literally just a sage tea, nothing too special, no extra flavors, no sweetening, just a sage tea, and it brings my body and my soul and my mind this ease, But I'm not really here to talk about tea, I'm just rambling. Rambling already, yay! Okay, so let's start. The very first book I want to talk about today, and the very first book that influenced my witchcraft journey in a huge way, I swear, this book changed me as a witch. And the book in question is Water Witchcraft by Unwin Avalon. So the book is called Water Witchcraft, Magic and Lore from the Celtic Tradition. Now, this book, I love this book so much, and I'm gonna give you, I'm not really going to give you a super objective book review, okay? Don't expect that from me here, because I'm gonna be speaking from an extremely personal point of view. I always give my disclaimer that everything I say in the video is my personal opinion, but in this particular video it's going to be super personal opinion. So yeah, just take that, just keep that in mind, okay? So basically this book influenced me so very much because when I started my witchcraft journey I was kind of confused about what I wanted to actually go for, because when you first get into the witchcraft world, right, you kind of begin to see a lot of witchcraft branches. You see so many different ways of practicing. There are these different titles for witches, right, and there's just so much of things that you gotta learn and eventually somehow figure out what is it that suits you. Now I'm gonna tell you something about myself. I was incredibly called to sea witchcraft because I love the sea, I love, beaches, I love water in general. Bring me to some, either the beach or a lake, a river, a pool even, I don't care. I'm gonna be happy, okay? I love water. Now, I heard about this sea witchcraft branch of witchcraft, right? But I was kind of sad because by the time I was starting with witchcraft, I was moving from a place that actually had beaches and sea to the place where are no beaches and no sea anywhere near. So when I got here where I'm living now, I don't currently have beaches here. I live in Europe, in a very Central Europe. How do you say that? So I don't really have access to the sea. So sea witchcraft kind of flew out the window. It was yeah, that would be so nice, but it's just not something I can practice right now. And I still felt this call to the water, etc. But I was like, I don't know, kind of sad, okay? All this to say that I remember one night I don't even know, I was just like scrolling the internet or something, and I found this person, the author of this book. She's such an amazing and inspiring witch. And I realized she had like the entire website about like water witchcraft. And I was like, whoa, water witchcraft is a thing. Now you might think, yeah, of course it's a thing. How didn't you know? But please, like, keep in mind that I was like a baby witch. I don't like the term, but I was literally just getting acquainted with witchcraft, right? So I did not know that that was a thing. So when I realized that she had this book, I ordered it, I read it, and I was just so, I just fell in love with everything that she, like how she speaks about the water. She brings like different water witchcraft practices, different kinds of water, how you can incorporate them, etc. So this was like mind-blowing to me. It still is, till this day. I still love this book so very much. The only downside of this book, now I'm saying downside like quote unquote, because it's just something personal, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, but I still need, I still feel the urge to say it again. It's that it's the also magic and lore from the Celtic tradition. Now, I'm not really very called to Celtic tradition at all. Now I still got this book, yes, because I wanted to know about like the water, okay? And there is part of this book that focuses kind of like on different bodies of water, different types of water, and again how to practice with those. But there is also like a huge part of this book that goes into the Celtic lore and traditions, which was something a little bit like not something I'm so called to, okay? Not something I'm so interested in. But it's fine, it literally says on the title, so this is what I'm saying, okay? Because you might be thinking, well, if you are not called to Celtic tradition, why do you get the book that's literally about Celtic lore? Well, you know now, because this was my first kind of like encounter with the water witchcraft, with even the term water witchcraft. And yeah, so I got the book, and the book still gave me a lot. It still, again, impacted me in a brutal way. It made me practice water witchcraft, basically. So yeah, I'm gonna be forever grateful for this book. I love it. So this would be the Water Witchcraft by Anowin Avalon. I'm so sorry, I always, when I'm trying to say her name out loud, it just goes wrong. My apologies. Okay, let me have a sip of my water. By the way, I don't know if I'm like also like catching a cold or something, but it's kind of like it's tiring me to talk. Like I don't have air. Anyway, or maybe this is just my body reacting to what I've been going through emotionally. That's also a thing. I just realized probably in every video I'm making I mention my emotional turmoils. You're probably gonna be thinking like, oh, poor little thing, she's just always tormented. I'm actually not. It's just somehow when I'm shooting a video, it's, yeah, weird coincidences. And also, okay, it is a kind of a recurrent theme of my life. But anyway, the book number 2. The book number 2 is Rebel Witch by Kellyanne Maddox. Now this book, first of all, this book is a beginner witchcraft, a beginner witch book, okay? So if you are a seasoned practitioner, or if you are already like in the witchcraft area, you are probably gonna be familiar with the majority of things that Kellyanne talks about in this book. And the interesting thing is that I got this book when I already was in the witchcraft world. So I did not necessarily get like an actual information. It didn't necessarily teach me witchcraft, but I love this book immensely, and I'm forever going to be recommending this book to everyone because of its aspect of like rebelliousness. Is that the word? I hope so. Because Kellyanne Maddox is not, she's not really like a traditional witch, okay? You know that there is a thing about traditional witchcraft and like ceremonial magic and stuff like that, which is amazing, by the way. Very interesting stuff. But this book, it literally gives you like information. I mean, it does give you information about witchcraft when you are getting into witchcraft. But it also encourages you to like create your own witchcraft path, you know, and to kind of like tap into your own witchcraft potential, something like that. I don't know, it kind of like gives you this permission, you know, to like not do things by the book, which is funny because it's a book, but it kind of allows you to pursue what feels good and what feels right for you. Like, she gives you options, she gives you tips, amazing and incredible tips, by the way, to incorporate into your practice if you feel like you want to do so. And she also, again, like gives you this encouragement, this like a little push, like be the witch you want to be. And it says something like, yeah, it says carve the craft that's yours alone, in like the subtitle of the book. And it's really fitting, and I just love this book. I love it, okay? And it really, again, it gave me this, yeah, I know what I want to say about this book. This book kind of gives you this excitement about witchcraft, you know? Even if you have been a practicing witch for a while and maybe you feel like you're a little bit stuck or something, you're like, I don't really know what I want to do, like what is my path? Because again, witchcraft path is like always changing. And reading this book, it's gonna make you feel like, like I can actually make changes. I can actually make this exciting and amazing. And yeah, thank you, Kellyanne, for writing this book. You're amazing. Also, if you don't know Kellyanne Maddox, I'm gonna link her channel somewhere down below because she's amazing. And her videos, they are just brilliant. Okay, so go ahead and check her channel and check her book and check her out. She's an amazing human being, okay? So, Rebel Witch by Kellyanne Maddox. Then the next book I decided to talk about today is Psychic Witch by Matt Orin. Yeah. You know how people always say, this is such a cliche, I'm so sorry. You know how people in like the book reviews and deck reviews always say that I'm so sorry if I butcher your names. And I was always, when I would watch these videos, I'd be like, first of all, you're not even butchering their names. And like, why would you say that? And now I feel the urge to say that because like the names of these authors, like I always just like see them in my head, you know? I don't usually say them out loud. And when I tried to do so now, it's like, am I pronouncing it correctly? Okay, it's questionable, but anyway, yeah, I'm sorry. Here comes the cliche. I'm sorry if I mispronounce any of these names. I'm deeply sorry. It's not my intention, okay? So, Psychic Witch. Now, this book, I have actually a lot of things to say about this book because, first of all, this book, it gave me a lot in terms of practicing witchcraft without tools, because as the title suggests, it's kind of like practicing witchcraft based on psychic abilities, or psychic, not abilities, but psychic skills. That's the same word, isn't it? Basically, this book gives you not only like the talk about it, it's not just the theory book as some of the witchcraft books are. This book is actually full of exercises. Now again, if you have been in the witchcraft world for a while, this is not a new book, and this book has been so heavily, you know, like the marketing for this book was just wild. Everyone knew this book, at least I think. It was everywhere when it came out. And the hype was just wild, okay? And I think that it does live up to the hype that was there around it. This was such a weird thing to say, like my brain just couldn't. It just couldn't English this moment, I'm sorry. But yeah, this book actually lives up to the expectations, or to the hype, is what I meant. I hope if you understand. So it has plenty of exercises. Now I do still to this day practice some of these exercises, not all of them, because some of them are like super complicated, and also I do not really consider myself a psychic. Like I can sense energy sometimes when the energy of either the place or the person is like super aggressive, or not like aggressive in like aggressive way, but aggressive as in like strong, like you can't ignore it. This is what I mean. Yeah, I've certainly felt sensed energies in certain moments, and if you're interested in knowing more about that, about those experiences, let me know down below and I might talk about it. But yeah, back to this. So I do not consider myself really like a psychic. So it is a little bit challenging. This book has been a little bit challenging when it comes to like in terms of some of the more complicated exercises. Also, if you really want to be able to practice and like really do those exercises in a correct way and in a successful way, like the exercises that are, for example, by the end of the book, you really have to be going through like the beginning, because you like build on the knowledge and experience you gain from the exercises in like the beginning, etc., etc., you know, so it like goes like progressively, which is great, by the way, nothing wrong with that. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make it sound like it's like a problem or anything, like not at all. Not at all. I'm just saying this book is like a lot of work, but it did make a huge difference in my practice, because some of these exercises really helped me, and I think it's a great book to, you know, to open your mind a little bit, and to think about witchcraft not just in terms of having altars and candles, because you know witches love candles, but the candle, as I like to say, candle is not like the only tool you can do witchcraft with, you know. So this book was amazing in terms of that. But the downside of this book, and I'm so sorry because I'm such a fan of the author of this book, and I'm such a fan of this book, so I'm so sorry about what I'm gonna say, but I haven't finished this book. I have like a few pages, actually. I have the bookmark still in there. I have a few pages left because I stopped reading this book for a moment because I was upset. Not gonna lie, I was upset. I know it's childish to like put the book down when you're upset, but it's something I did. And it is when I got to the part where the author explains part of your soul and basically what happens to your soul once you die. Let me just sip a tea before I get into this. Okay, so you know, something that just doesn't sit well with me, never has, and most probably never will, is when someone comes, well, at me or writes a book, and when they express in this very factual way what happens when you die. You know, I don't know. I just can't do this. I can't do this, and I'm a person who worships a death deity, a death spirit, La Santa Muerte. And the topic around death, and especially like the spirituality surrounding death and the factuality that some people approach it with, I just can't. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Just don't come at me saying this and this and this is gonna happen when you die and it's a fact. And I'm telling you that. Don't do that to me, because we are not gonna be friends. And in this case, it's a book, okay? So I'm not trying to be friends with the person who wrote it. And again, I'm a huge fan, okay? I'm a huge fan. I love this guy. He's amazing. He's so knowledgeable, and so, like, I admire him a lot. But I just did not like the tone of that section. I can't help myself. I just can't. I don't know. It's, you know, I don't mind talking about these things kind of like theorizing about it, you know, sharing opinions even. Like it's great. I'm always interested in hearing how people think and how people perceive, you know, death, and what are their beliefs surrounding death. It's interesting, and I'm always open to that conversation. But let's not like throw facts, please. Let's not do that. Yeah. So I'm so sorry about this. I'm really sorry, but I wanted to say it anyway because yeah. Again, I love this book. This book impacted me and influenced my practice a lot. And again, I'm such a fan of the writer. I just needed to, you know, I could live without that section, if you will. But it's just my opinion again, okay? I hope no one gets too offended or anything. Not at all what I'm after. So, Psychic Witch by Matt Oren. And the very last book that I want to talk about today, now I left this book as the last, but it's literally my absolutely favorite book of all time. It's the book that changed my life, not only as a witchcraft practitioner, but also as a person. And the book in question is La Santa Muerte by Thomas Prower. Now this book, you guys, this book, I swear, this book is just like, it's amazing. It's amazing, and I'm gonna tell you about it in just a moment. Now, first things first, I have the Spanish edition, but by the time of filming this video, I believe the English version is also out on the market. So if you're interested in that book and you speak English and not Spanish, you can now get it as well. So, why I'm saying that this book changed my life? As many of you probably know by now, or if you're following me on the Instagram, you probably realize that I am a Santa Muerte devotee. It is something I don't talk about as much, but I think I'm just gonna change that because I think La Santa Muerte is incredibly misunderstood, and I'm definitely going to make a video talking more about that and about my journey with her, because there's just so much to talk about, there's just so much to say, and so many topics to touch on regarding her. But in this video, I'm just gonna say that this book changed my life incredibly, because Thomas Prower, he not only speaks about La Santa Muerte in like a witchcraft way, you know, in like the basically like this like magical tradition. He also speaks about her in this very human way. I'm not sure if that's the word, the way to describe it, but he just makes you understand and tap into who she is, you know, as a spirit, as the energy, and more importantly, he goes about her in a not Christian way, which is something that I can't appreciate more, because I am not a Christian. And many people think that La Santa Muerte is exclusively like a Christian saint, you know, like a Catholic saint or something. And the truth is, she is not. She can be. She definitely can. And she has like a huge background and connections with Christianity. But she's not exclusively in that realm, you know? And that's something I really want to talk about at some point, because it's one of the biggest misunderstandings that people have. Now, again, this book, a part of coming at the whole Santa Muerte topic in this very, very broad and very gentle and understanding way, I don't even know how to say that, I just love this book. It also makes you feel like you are welcome to learn about La Santa Muerte, no matter who you are. Like, he is not at all trying to like exclude anybody, and it's something that you don't often see. Usually, what I realize when I read either about La Santa Muerte or about any other, like, you know, religious tradition or witchcraft tradition and practices, so some writers tend to be like kind of like gatekeepy, you know, And I tend to be a little bit like, I'm better than you because I have all this information and you don't. So like, hear me out, and like, this is how you do that. Thomas doesn't do that. He doesn't do that. Like, the entire time you're reading his book, you just feel like, you feel so welcome, and I'm literally lacking words. It's crazy because it's my favorite book of all times, and I told you it's if I had to choose to like keep only one book in my Witchcraft books collection, this would be one. I would just like get rid of all of my other books, and I would keep this one, and I would just reread this one again and again and again. By the way, I'm actually planning on rereading this one again because yeah, as I mentioned, I want to talk about it in a little bit more like deeper way. But for now, let me just say that it's such a pleasure to read if you are obviously interested in La Santa Muerte. And if you want to, you know, if you want to feel welcome, and if you want to feel like someone is walking you through the lore and the kind of like background of Santa Muerte, as well as some of the practices that are, you know, current practices, modern practices, if you will. If you want someone to walk you through that in a very gentle and loving way, get this book. Get this book. I'm serious. Don't get other books on La Santa Muerte, get this one. And after this one, you can get like other ones and like, you know, get educated more on the topic. But this one would be the one. Now, I started talking to you like, read this book. I mean, if you are interested in La Santa Muerte, okay? Now, again, in my personal case, I felt really called to La Santa Muerte at some point, and I really wanted to like, you know, get into like reading and learning about her first and foremost. And I'm like so incredibly grateful that I got this book as my first Santa Muerte book, because as I said, it opened my eyes, it opened my mind, it showed me that this is really something I feel very close to, very called to. And it, again, I said, I felt like someone was just like taking my hand and like walking me through all the good stuff about La Santa Muerte. Okay, this is so cheesy, but yeah. Basically, I love this book, and it's I love this book. And funny thing is, I spoke about like downsides of all the books that I mentioned in this video, and I don't really want to be cheesy again, but there is. I just have to say, there is not a single thing I don't like about this book. Quite literally, there is nothing I don't like about this book. I'm just gonna say that because I love it. But again, it is incredibly personal, because again, if you are not into La Santa Muerte, you might read this book and be like, yeah, okay, fine. And it might not change you, but it did change me. And it brought her closer to me, and it got me started in this journey that I'm on right now. And yeah. I'm just gonna say good. I love this book. I love this book so much. Okay. La Santa Muerte by Thomas Prower. Okay, so these would be the books that impacted me as a witchcraft practitioner, that really had like a huge influence on my practice, and books that have impact, I don't know, whatever, stuff like that. As I mentioned, these are obviously not all the witchcraft books I have in my collection. I have read other books that were also very interesting, very that gave me actually a lot, you know, like things to think about, some things to practice, etc. But these 4 books in particular are the books that really, like, they had a really huge impact on me. Okay, so this is why I want to talk about these. Now let me get a sip of my tea. I actually did not forget that I have the tea this time. I was actually drinking it. Okay, so let me know your thoughts about these books. Let me know if you own any of these books, what do you think about them, or I don't know, just let me know any of your thoughts down below in the comments section. I would be very happy to read that. Also consider subscribing if you liked this video. If you want to hang out with me a little longer, please feel free to watch some of my other videos that are available on my channel. And I think I'm gonna go now because I feel like I can't breathe for some reason. Talking. Anyway, so I hope you're having a lovely day. I hope to see you on the channel soon, and stay kind, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.